Hello everyone, so welcome back. And in this video, we are going to see how you can start doing the basic corrections or basic editing to your images. And in the later videos, we are going to see some more advanced editing and yeah, we'll be making some localized changes. So for this, we can start with any of the images. So let's start with this one since we have already used this image. So I will go to the develop module. As you have already seen, we have given you an overview of the develop module. So the first thing that we see here is this is a you know so this is a very beautiful portrait, and we can see like few things going on. There's too much of highlight in the background, and also the focus. If you see the image, your eye will be wandering in the background. So we need to bring the focus back on this, and also the color kind of look dull. And so we will start with the basic editing. So for this, we are not going to crop. So if there is an image where you want to crop, you can just simply click here and move these things, and it will do the crop for you. So this is about the crop tool. These tools are a little bit advanced tools that we are going to see in the upcoming videos. So if you see, the first basic thing that we are going to touch upon is this slider. The one is temperature and the other one is tint. So if we do the temperature slider, so photos tends to be either warm color photos or the cold or the cool color photos. So it has to do with the light spectrum that image was shot in. So if you have an image which is like too warm, which was shot with the wrong settings, and if it's a raw image, you can bring it back to normal. So normal in this temperature sense is somewhere around 52 to 5300. So that is considered as the daylight, and you can also move it towards the cool uh, tone. So it depends upon your image and what effect you are trying to achieve. For this image, I'll go slightly on the uh, cool part. And also you can play with the tint. So tint will add either green tint or the magenta tint to the image. And this also comes very handy because sometimes what you do when you shoot an image, it has a magenta tint already. So you can use this slider and move it towards the green just to counterbalance that magenta tint in your images, and vice versa. So we have, and this is not only just to counterbalance or correct things. This can also be used as a creative tool. You can add a lot of green tint. So it depends on what actually you are trying to achieve. Then we can uh, play a little with the exposure. So if I increase the exposure, you can see I'm increasing the overall exposure of the image. But also what we can do is we can lower the highlight, and it will add the definition back in the highlighted areas. So you can see we have recovered a lot of highlights back in this area which was washed out. Then we are going to add some more light in the shadow areas. And we will increase the contrast a little bit more. Whites and blacks tends to do the same thing. So if you have used the highlight slider to the max, you can still go ahead and bring back some more details here. And then we have the next tab, that is presence, which is like texture, clarity, and dehaze. So texture, if you increase the texture, it will add a punch to the image or contrast to the image. And if you use clarity, it sort of do the same thing, but the effect is not that drastic. So gradually, if you increase, you will add a lot more detail to your image without that grungy feeling. So just play around with the sliders and see what looks best for your image. And then we have the dehaze slider. So this will come handy when we have an image where there's a lot of haze or a fog, or just for example, a photo shot during the morning where we have a lot of fog, and we want to improve that image, cut down on the fog or the haze. So you can use this slider. So if you move it towards the negative, it will add haze, and if you move it towards the positive, +8, it will start removing some of the haze from your images and make it like more clear. Then we have vibrance and saturation. So the way you use this is, if you increase the saturation, it increases the regardless of what color is at what saturation level, it will start increasing everything uh, similarly or equally. But vibrance is like, if you can see that the background is getting affected more than the shirt here. So it's like very subtle. I mean, if you're looking for something very subtle to increase the overall saturation or the color, then I would recommend that you use the vibrance slider. And if you're going for something very drastic, then go with the saturation. So we are not gonna go with something very drastic. So I'll just move the vibrance slider. So this is the first section that we have seen, and so far we have uh, done this. As you can see, we have bring back the focus on the subject, as well as we have tweaked the color quite a bit. I think I'll go back to this. Yeah. Then we have the tone curve, and the way this works is, it we have one for the RGB, and then we have three for the three individual colors. And you can just simply move the slider to alter the values. So this is again something which is a little bit advanced, and if you don't have idea about this, then you can skip this and you can just play with these sliders and get the work done. But if I'll quickly show you how to do this. So the point here is, basically for like most of the images, we are trying to make an S curve. So if you click here, I mean along this line, if you click anywhere, it will create a point and you can just simply move the point. So I have created like 2 points here, and I'm just trying to make an S. If you can see, it's like a very slight S. And we can also alter the colors quite a bit. So you can see there's a tint in the upper triangle, is we have red, and in the lower triangle we have the green or cyan. So if you move it down, it will add a lot of cyan. If you move it up, it will add again red. So you need to play with this and see where the sweet spot is. Same with this, and same with this. So if you move the top end portion, you can add like a vintage effect to your images, which I quite a bit like it. Then you have HSL or color section, hue, saturation, and luminance. So if you click here, you will get hue, saturation, and luminance. So basically what we are doing here is, for each individual color, we can target the hue, we can target the saturation, as well as the brightness level of that color. And if we want to just, this is like, again, same thing, but in a different sort of format. You can see we have hue, saturation, luminance, and we can target the color from here, or we can see it uh, all at once. So for example, this sweater is somewhere between red and magenta. So we'll move this. We'll see this is not happening. Then we'll try this one. So you see that if we shift the magenta slider, the hue of the sweater is getting changed. And also we can change the saturation if you want to. We can make it like completely desaturated, and we can also increase the luminance value. So here I want to do one thing. I want to add a little bit of more saturation to the background. So we have come from there till here. And also you can simply target other color as well. So in this, we have the blues. Then down here we have the split toning, and what this does is we can add a tint of certain color from this slider in the highlight section as well as the shadow section. So I'll show you first with the shadow, so it's easier to spot. So the shadows are in the hair and in this lower portion of the image. So let's make this more saturated, and if I move this slider, you can see there is a slight tint happening in the dark areas of the image, and this can also be again used for creative purpose. In the highlight I will also add some of the yellow, so you see like how where we are taking this image towards a warm look and a very vintage kind of look that we are trying to achieve here. And then we have the details where you can sharpen the image and also decrease any noise that you uh, get from sharpening. So if I come here, you can see if I increase this, I'm adding sharpness to the image. So this is about the sharpness slider. And then we have the lens correction slider. So in the previous video, I've already showed you how to, if you have a raw image, you can apply the lens correction from here just by clicking here. Manually, you can also control this, but this is something that I would not recommend since it can go out of control. So if you are using a raw image, just check both of these boxes and you'll be good to go. Then we have transform again, since we are not having any straight lines in this image, so we can skip this. And we have effects. So we can add some vignette, post crop vignette in the image just to shift the balance or the focus back to the subject. So instead of, having corners which are bright, again, we can go both the ways with this, but yeah, we need to find the sweet spot where the focus is on the main subject. And then for creative purpose, you can give it a little bit of grain just to make it look old and vintage. And you can also control the roughness or the how rough the grain is gonna be. So yeah, these are about the most basic corrections that you can do to an image or the most basic sliders that we can use. And you can see we started from here and we are right now here. So in this way, in like few easy sliders and few of these steps, you can drastically improve your images. So yeah, this is about one image. So in the next video, we are going to take another image and try to do the basic editing as well as some, specific editing or the local corrections to the image. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video.